Today is the feast day of St. Bezus, martyr. Although he didn't die, well, yes, he did die bloody. St. Bezus was in the Legion of Theban, Roman Legion. He was a soldier. He escaped a massacre of the soldiers, which I think was because it was a Christian unit. And there were persecutions of Christians at this point. He escaped and went to the mountains. He evangelized in the mountains of, I forget, something in Italy. Oh, for goodness sakes. I forgot what he did. Well, he got captured again, and they threw him off a mountain. St. Bezus. St. Bezus, forgive me, I've forgotten totally what I just read 3 or 4 times in a row so that I could say it right. His legend and folklore might be getting mixed up with some other people of similar names, including some pre-Christian gods. So we're a little spotty on the details, but he did die in 286 by being thrown off a mountain cliff. When he landed, it made such a thud that it made an indentation in the ground, and a shrine was built there at the place of his death. St. Bezus, pray for us. I was in the house last night and I got a pair. I think it was wet yesterday, so my boots were kind of squeaky. I thought it was just squeaky from being wet. And then I stepped on something, and it was a frog in the middle of the kitchen floor. I stepped on a frog and I felt nothing. No, I felt something. I felt really, really bad. First off, I stepped on it. It was gross because it didn't really move. I put him outside, and he's gone today, but he might have got eaten, or I didn't really hurt him. Maybe I stunned him, but he kind of looked a little smushy on one side. No, I felt a lot. I felt bad. First off, I felt bad that I killed a frog. I'm trying to save frogs in the ponds and was trying to find a way to keep them. A couple of frogs were drowning in there. And so I think the water level was too low. They jump in, but they couldn't get out. Anyway, there was a dang frog in the floor in the middle of my kitchen. I don't even know how that happens. I don't know how that happens. But no, the reference, I saw a sunset and I saw a sunset and I felt nothing. That's from Bob's Burger. When one of the twins, one of the Pesto twins, who are voiced generally by, what's her name? I don't remember her name. The wife or ex-wife of Jimmy Kimmel, supposed Catholic, who is basically a tool. Like all the there was a time about 6, 8, 10 years ago when I started these videos, maybe more. And I made the point, I had noticed very early, this is probably my first 10 videos, one of my first in the first 10 on YouTube, and I noticed that all the late night hosts were Catholic and used to be altar servers. And this was at the time I was listening to Bishop Barron a lot, and in my mind I felt God was calling me to make these videos and to evangelize. And so I thought, well, you've got Bishop Barron at the one end, at the high end of the spectrum, and you've got Father Larry Richards and I don't know, all the rest of them. Today I would say Trent Horn and Joe Heschmeyer. Wow, that was a big bird. What was that? And they're my favorite go-tos now. Jimmy Aiken is good too. But anyway, I thought there might be, in the spectrum of people speaking up the Catholic faith, there'd be Bishop Barron at the top, and way down at the end, there could be somebody like me. So anyway, and so at this one of these videos I made the point that all the late night talk show hosts are Catholic and were altar servers. And so I posed the question, when do I get my talk show host? When do I get my talk show to be a host of? Nothing's developed to that point, to this so far. But you know, I could be considered an elder statesman at this point, though I don't think I'd be a good interviewer. Anyway, now I'm disgusted with all of those guys. All of those supposed Catholics are pushing, and Stephen Colbert was for a while, I thought, at least he was saying the word Catholic and he was professing his Catholicity. But when it's like President Biden. When you say, I'm a Catholic, I'm a great Catholic, or whatever you say, I'm a true Catholic, I pray my rosary. When you do things like that, and then you go and in public, you promote abortion and you promote gender confusion, when you push narratives that are making us feel bad about our country, instead of saying, okay, I mean, you know what, these politicians are really suckish coaches, like this Tim Walz or whatever his name is, if he's a coach. You build your team up. You tell them you're doing a good job, you made a mistake here, and you're doing a good job, and keep working. But instead, they just say how everything is wrong with the country, as if today the nation is worse off, let's say, for example, racially, as if today the nation is worse off than it was 200 years ago, or was it 200? Yeah, 200 years ago, or 250 years ago, or 100 years ago, or 50, as if we've made no strides whatsoever, as if we haven't improved, as if it's a hellish place for all black people today, which it's just plain not. Everybody who gets, the secret, get an education, the secret is to persevere. St. Paul said persevere in a religious aspect, but the secret, that perseverance, maybe this is a bit of stoicism. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just say, I think the secret is know what you can correct and know what you can't correct. You can get more education. You can learn a trade. You can learn a profession. You can go to a college or you can go to a trade school. You can exercise. You can make yourself healthier. You can eat better. You can sleep better. You can drop off the smoking and the drinking and the doping. You can do all that stuff and you will improve your lot in life. Or you can just bitch about it and claim it's all the fault of the United States government somehow, or the United States, the history of the United States. You can do A, work and fix what you can fix, or B, just moan and groan about it. And of course, this country isn't perfect, but my gosh, any other country, oh my gosh, any other country, any other people, up in 50 years ago, anywhere in the world would have said that the United States was doing awesome. And now we've got this socialist agenda, this whole mess, the educators, the politicians, all trying to make someone else's, everybody's fault. Nobody has any culpability. Everything that's wrong with anyone is somebody else's fault. Usually the corrupt government. So, what the hell was I talking about? So, yeah, persevere. If you persevere, you'll do fine. And where was I before that? So I didn't get my talk show, and maybe for good reason. And let's see, for how much further back? these guys, these talk show guys, are just tools, mouthpieces for the Democratic Party. And that's, if there was a way that the government, if there was a way that the election was corrupted, that's always been my contention. That everyone ganged up on Trump, the media, Hollywood, the celebrities, the print news, the newspapers. My Washington Post is ridiculously slanted towards the Democratic Party. I mean, I read with a judicious eye, and you can just see how they're promoting it and how few articles talk about being conservative and how the majority of the articles talk about socialist agendas and blaming and but I read it because I got to know what the other side is trying to say and make sure that there's no places where they're right or wrong, or see where they may be right and where are the main parts that I think they're wrong. So anyway, this is the late Saturday afternoon edition of the Dog Walk Chronicles. Let's ask St. Lawrence to pray for us. Let's ask St. Bezus to pray for us. A strong soldier who was martyred. Yeah, I stepped on a frog today and I felt nothing. No, I felt something. What's that girl's name that Jimmy Kimmel married? She's a comedian. Jewish. Black hair. Got a sister, at least one sister. Anyway, whatever her name is. And what's his name? Stephen Colbert. Jeez. So, yeah. And then I was talking about Biden, too. Yeah, people, if you're going to say you're Catholic, then you should act like a Catholic. You shouldn't be a mouthpiece for the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party pushes abortion and pushes gender confusion, and ultimately that is more abortion, that's more population control. The more people that we can convince that you're not the right sex, those people are going to be sterile. They're not going to have kids. Whether you're a boy who thinks you're a girl and changes, or a girl thinks you're a boy who changes your appearance, that's all you're doing is changing appearance. You're not changing into a boy or a girl. Don't confuse that. So anyway, St. Bezus, pray for us. St. Mary Ann Cope, pray for us. St. Damien, pray for us. St. Lawrence, pray for us. God help this country.